Hello students, right now we are dealing with unit number 2, that is inverse Laplace transform. This unit is totally based on unit number 1, Laplace transform. From this unit we have seen two methods to find the inverse Laplace transform of the given function of s. Now the most important method, or we can say one of the most important methods to find the inverse Laplace transform, we are going to study in this lecture. Inverse Laplace transform using the method of partial fraction. Actually, this method of partial fraction is very useful in different ways. We have used this method of partial fraction to find the integration of the given functions in 12th standard. Now we are going to use this method to find inverse Laplace transform of the given function of s. So when we can apply the method of partial fraction, here we can see one of the form of partial fraction. The LHS of the given expression is f of x upon x plus a into x plus b. Here we can observe that the denominator is containing the product of two linear terms x plus a and x plus b, and numerator is some function of x. We can apply the method of partial fraction if the degree of numerator is less than that of the denominator. If the degree of numerator is equal to or greater than that of denominator, we cannot apply the method of partial fraction directly. So before applying the method of partial fraction, we have to check the degree of numerator and the degree of denominator. If here degree of f of x is less than the degree of denominator, then we can write this expression in the form of partial fraction as a some constant upon x plus a, the first linear factor in the denominator, plus some another constant capital B upon upon the another linear factor in the denominator. If there will be third factor, then there will be third term in the RHS. One more form, if f of x upon x plus a x plus b into x plus c bracket square, means here the degree of f of x, that is numerator, is less than that of denominator, and denominator is expressed in the form of the product of linear factors x plus a x plus b. These two are distinct linear factors, and the third factor is repeated, that is, it is appearing in square form. So in that case we can write this expression in the form of partial fraction as first constant a upon the first linear factor plus second constant capital B upon the second linear factor, and the third factor is appearing in square form. So we have to write third constant upon the third linear factor only once, plus fourth constant upon the third linear factor two times. If it is x plus c bracket cube, then we have to add one more term, capital E upon x plus c bracket cube. So remember this extra term c upon x plus c. The next form is f of x upon x plus a into x square plus bx plus c. So here the denominator is expressed as a product of two terms The first term is x plus a, that is the linear factor, and the second term is x square plus bx plus c, that is the quadratic factor which cannot be factorized into linear factors such as x square plus 1. So here we cannot have the factors of x square plus 1 with real roots. So we have to take the factor as a quadratic factor as it is. And then the corresponding partial fraction is the first constant upon the first factor. Here it is x plus a. So it will be same as in the previous two cases. Now corresponding to the quadratic factor, the numerator is different one, and it is involving two constants b and c, and we have to write it as bx plus c divided by the second factor which is quadratic. Now here you may observe that whatever is the degree of the denominator on the LHS, the same number of constant term should be there on the RHS. In first case, there are only two factors, x plus a, x plus b. So the degree in total is 2. So there are two constants, capital A and capital B on RHS. In second case, there are in all 4 factors. So degree is 4, and hence there are 4 constants on the RHS. In the third case, the degree of the denominator is 3, and hence there are 3 constants involved in the RHS. Now we will solve some examples based on this method of partial fraction to find the inverse Laplace transform of the given function of s. Now there are 2-3 types of examples where we can apply this method of partial fraction to find the inverse Laplace transform. Now we will see type 1 examples. These examples are very simple one, but without solving these examples and without making a very good practice of solving these examples, we cannot go for type 2 examples. The question will be same. Find the inverse Laplace transform of the following functions. So the first example here, 2s square minus 4 divided by s plus 1 into s minus 2 into s minus 3. Now first, as I have already told, we have to check the degree of numerator and denominator. Here the degree of numerator is 2 because of s square term in the numerator, and the degree of denominator is 3 as there are 3 linear factors in multiplication form. So degree of numerator is less than that of denominator, and hence we can apply the method of partial fraction to find the inverse Laplace transform of this function. Now we will see the solution step by step. Here we have to consider the given function as f bar of s as seen in the previous methods. Now we have to write this f bar of s as sum of partial fractions. Now see, here the denominator of given f bar of s is having the product of 3 linear terms. So there will be 3 constants, capital A, B, C on RHS. So it can be written as the first constant upon the first factor plus the second constant upon the second factor plus the third constant upon the third linear factor, and we call this as equation number 1. Now taking LCM on RHS, we get 2s square minus 4, that is the numerator of LHS of equation 1. Now see, taking LCM on the RHS of equation 1, the denominator becomes s plus 1 into s minus 2 into s minus 3. So just comparing the numerators on both the sides of this equation 1, after taking LCM, we get this equation 2. So we can write this equation 2 directly. Just write the numerator of the LHS, that is 2s square minus 4, equal to the first constant a. Now a is having the denominator as s plus 1 in equation 1. So except s plus 1, whatever are the factors in the denominator on LHS will become the multipliers to this constant a. So it becomes a into s minus 2, s minus 3 plus b. Now b is having the denominator as s minus 2. So the remaining two factors should be in multiplication with b. So it becomes b into s plus 1 into s minus 3 and plus c into the first two linear factors s plus 1 into s minus 2. We call this as equation 2. Now our aim is to find the values of capital A, B, C. To find the values of capital A, B, C, we are going to put three different values of S. The first value from the first denominator in equation 1, that is S plus 1. So we are going to put the opposite sign, that is S equal to minus 1, to get the value of A. And then to get the value of B, we are going to put S equal to plus 2, as the factor is S minus 2. And in third case, that is to get the value of capital C, we are going to put S equal to plus 3. Now using these values, we get the values of capital A, capital B and capital C. The first one, put S equal to minus 1 in equation 2. On LHS and RHS, we have to put S equal to minus 1. So for S equal to minus 1, LHS of equation 2 becomes 2 into minus 1 square minus 4 as it is, equal to capital A into minus 1 into minus 2 into minus 1 into minus 1 minus 3. And I have intentionally not written the remaining two terms involving capital B and capital C in equation 2, as for S equal to minus 1, because of S plus 1 factor, the remaining two terms are going to be 0 surely. So no need to put S equal to minus 1 in second and third term of equation number 2. On solving this, we get minus 2 equal to A into minus 3 into minus 4. And solving this, we get A equal to minus 1 by 6. So we have got the value of the first constant, that is A equal to minus 1 by 6. In the same way, put S equal to 2 in equation 2 and you will get B equal to minus 4 by 3. You can verify the value of constant B. The procedure, all the steps are given here in this slide. Now we have to find the value of capital C with substitution of S as 3. So put S equal to 3 in equation 2 and you will get the value of C as capital C equal to 7 by 2. Now we have got the values of all the three constants A, B and C. So we will put these values in equation 1 to write the given f bar of S as a sum of partial fractions. See, this RHS is containing three terms which are connected by plus sign and all the three terms are the fractions. So this method is called as method of partial fractions. Now this is f bar of S in most simplified form. So we can take inverse Laplace transform on both the sides of this latest result. So we can write L inverse of f bar of S is equal to L inverse of RHS. Now by linearity property of inverse Laplace transform, we can write it as minus 1 by 6 L inverse of 1 upon s plus 1 minus 4 by 3 L inverse of 1 upon s minus 2 plus 7 by 2 L inverse of 1 upon s minus 3. Now whatever the terms are there in curly bracket, these are nothing but similar to 1 upon s plus a and 1 upon s minus a. So applying the shifting theorem for inverse Laplace transform, we can write the answer as minus 1 by 6 e raised to minus t minus 4 by 3 e raised to 2t plus 7 by 2 e raised to 3t, and this is the final answer for the given f bar of s using the method of partial fraction. This type of examples are the favorite examples of the paper setter of the university question paper of engineering mathematics 3. So there will be surely one example based on this method, and hence you have to be very good at this method. Now one more example. 5s square minus 15s minus 11 divided by s plus 1 into s minus 2 bracket square. Again we have to check the degree of numerator and denominator. Numerator's degree is 2 because of the presence of s square term. Denominator is containing 3 linear factors, s plus 1 and s minus 2 in square form. So degree of denominator is 3. So numerator's degree is less than that of denominator's degree, and hence we can apply the method of partial fraction. So f bar of s can be written as the first constant a divided by the first factor. Now see here, the second linear factor is appearing in square form. So we have to properly write the method of partial fraction here on RHS. A upon s plus 1 for the first factor, second factor is s minus 2. So once we have to write it with capital B constant and the square form with one more constant, capital C. Now our aim is to find the values of capital A, B and C, and for that we require the numerator on LHS equal to the simplified numerator on RHS. Now see here, the numerator on LHS is 5s square minus 15s minus 11. Now in equation 1, a upon s plus 1 is there. So what is the remaining factor? That is s minus 2 bracket square. So a will be with s minus 2 bracket square only. Plus b. A denominator of b is only s minus 2. So the remaining two terms should be along with capital B. The first is s plus 1 and the second one is remaining s minus 2 factor. And C, in C the denominator is s minus 2 square. So only one term is not present, that is s plus 1. So C should be with s plus 1 only. Now we have to find the values of A, B, C by substituting different values of s as minus 1, that is from the denominator of A, and equal to 2 from the denominator of B, or we can say C. And here since the denominator is repeated for B and C, so we have to take some different value of S. So in this regard, this example is different one. Okay, we will first put value of S as minus 1. So put s equal to minus 1 in equation 2 on both the sides. Substituting and simplifying, we get a equal to 1. This is very similar to the value of a we have obtained in example 1. Now put s equal to 2 in equation 2. So wherever there is s minus 2 factor, those terms will become 0. So in equation 2, for s equal to 2, we get 5 into 2 square minus 15 into 2 minus 11 as LHS, and a and B, both the terms are containing s minus 2 factor. So there will be only one term which is not having s minus 2, and it is along with s plus 1 only. So C into 2 plus 1. So this gives the value of C as minus 7. Now out of the three constants, we have obtained the values of A and C. Now to get the value of B, we cannot use s equal to 2 again. So we have to use some different value of s, and we are going to use it as 0. As s equal to 0, we have not used in previous substitutions. So for s equal to 0, we get this equation, and here we have to use the values of A and C, which already we have obtained, and from this we get B equal to 4. Now we have obtained the values of all the three constants, capital A, B and C. So we can write equation 1 with the values of capital A, B, C as f bar of s equal to 1 upon s plus 1 plus 4 upon s minus 2 plus minus 7 upon s minus 2 bracket square. This minus 7 should be enclosed in round brackets. Now this is the most simplified f bar of s. So we have to take inverse Laplace transform on both the sides. So taking inverse Laplace transform and then applying linearity property of inverse Laplace transform, that is taking the constant multipliers other than 1 out of the L inverse operator and writing L inverse separately for each and every term. Now see here, the first and second curly bracket is similar to the standard result 1 upon s plus a or 1 upon s minus a. So we can easily write their results using the first shifting theorem. So shifting theorem of inverse Laplace transform applying, we get the first term as e raised to minus t, 4 multiplier for the second term, e raised to 2t is L inverse of 1 upon s minus 2, and minus 7 e raised to 2t into L inverse of 1 upon s square. This type of example we have solved in the second lecture, where we have used the method of shifting theorem. So L inverse of 1 upon s square is again one of the standard results, and its answer is t. So the final answer is e raised to minus t plus 4 e raised to 2t minus 7 e raised to 2t into t. So every example here is different one, is unique one. You have to carefully go through each and every step of the solution. Now one more example where there will be a quadratic factor in the denominator. Now see, the numerator's degree is 1 because of the s term, and the denominator's degree is s into s square, that is cubed, that is 3. So numerator's degree is less than that of denominator's degree, and hence we can apply method of partial fraction here. Now see here, s plus 4 is a linear factor, and s square plus 9, this is a quadratic factor, and it cannot be factorized into real factors. So we have to apply third form of partial fraction here. So the given f bar of s can be written as sum of partial fraction as a first constant for the linear factor s plus 4, and since the second factor is a quadratic factor, so we have to write the numerator as bs plus c. So the degree of the denominator on LHS is 3, and hence there are 3 constants capital A, B, C on the RHS of equation 1. Now again we have to find the values of A, B, C, and before that we have to take the LCM of the terms on RHS, and comparing numerators on both the sides, we get s plus 29 is equal to a into s square plus 9 plus bs plus c into s plus 4. This is just by cross multiplication. Now we have to find the values of a, b, c, by substituting different values of s. Now see here, in equation 1, the first term is a upon s plus 4. S plus 4 is a linear factor. So by s equal to minus 4 substitution, we can easily get the value of a. But to get the value of b and c, we cannot put s square equal to minus 9. So here again we have to put different values of s which we have not used here in this solution. That is, we are going to use first s equal to minus 4. So other than s equal to minus 4, you may put any value of s to get the values of b and c. So first we will find the value of a. S equal to minus 4 gives us 25u equal to 25a, that is a equal to 1. So this is the value of the first constant, capital A. Now to find the value of b and c, we will put some different values of s. S equal to 0 we have not used in this solution, and so we can put s equal to 0 in equation 2. So for s equal to 0, we get this expression which is involving only c, and here we have used the value of a also, which already we have obtained. So from equation 2, for x equal to 0, we get 0 plus 29 as LHS equal to a equal to 1 already obtained. So 1 into bracket s square means 0 square 0 plus 9 plus bs, that is b into 0 0 plus c into s plus 4 means 0 plus 4, that is only 4. So this expression is involving only one constant, that is capital C, and hence we can find its value very easily at c equal to 5. Now we have obtained the values of two constants out of the three constants, that is a equal to 1 and c equal to 5. Now you have to put any other value of s than 0 and minus 4 in this equation 2 to get the value of capital B. And remember, here you may have to use the values of a and c which we have just obtained. Now we will put s equal to 1 in equation 2. It gives us 1 plus 29 equal to the value of a 1 into s square plus 9, that is 1 plus 9, plus bs, that is b into 1, plus c is 5 into bracket s plus 4, that is 1 plus 4. So here the equation is involving only one unknown, that is capital B, and solving this we get b equal to minus 1. So in this way we have obtained the values of all the three constants, capital A, B and C. So we can write equation 1 in the simplified form or in the form of sum of partial fraction as f bar of s is equal to a upon s plus 4, a equal to 1, so it becomes 1 upon s plus 4, plus bs plus c. So b is minus 1, so it becomes minus 1s plus c is 5 upon s square plus 9. We may write this as 1 upon s plus 4 plus 5 upon s square plus 9 minus s upon s square plus 9. Now this is the most simplified form of f bar of s. So we can take inverse Laplace transform on both the sides of this expression to get the inverse Laplace transform of the given f bar of s. So taking inverse LT on both the sides, we can write L inverse f bar of s is equal to L inverse of 1 upon s plus 4 plus 5 upon s square plus 9 minus s upon s square plus 9. Now here, by linearity property of inverse LT, taking the constant multipliers other than 1 out of the L inverse, we get L inverse of 1 upon s plus 4, which is similar to L inverse of 1 upon s plus a, that is e raised to minus at. The second term is involving L inverse of 1 upon s square plus 9, which is nothing but similar to 1 upon s square plus a square, that is a equal to 3, which is equal to 1 upon a sin at, and the last one is of the form s upon s square plus a square, that is its result is cos at. So the answer we get L inverse f bar of s equal to e raised to minus 4t plus 5 multiplier as it is. For the second one, 1 by a sin at, a is 3 here, so 1 by 3 sin 3t minus cos 3t. So here we have applied shifting theorem of inverse LT to the first term only, and for the second and third term we have applied the standard results for inverse LT. So this is the answer, which can be written as e raised to minus 4t plus 5 by 3 sin 3t minus cos 3t. Now some examples for practice. The question is same. Now see here, numerator's degree is 1 and denominator's degree is 2. So you can apply the method of partial fraction. But before that, you have to find the factors of the denominator. S square minus 2s minus 3, the factors are s minus 3 into s plus 1. You may verify these factors. So s minus 3 into s plus 1 means these two are the linear factors. Both are linear factors. So you have to refer example number 1 to solve this example number 1. In the second one, the numerator is 5s plus 3, denominator is s minus 1 and s square plus 2s plus 5. Denominator's first factor is linear one, but the second factor is quadratic, as it is having the imaginary roots, so it cannot be factorized into real factors. So you have to refer solution number 3 to solve this example number 2. Now the third example, 2s plus 3 divided by s plus 1 bracket square into s plus 2. Here the denominator is containing the linear factors, but the linear factors not distinct one. One of the factors is repeated. So you have to apply the method of example number 2 solved in this lecture to solve this example number 3. So it becomes a upon s plus 1 plus b upon s plus 1 square plus c upon the third factor s plus 2. So before applying the method of partial fraction or before finding the values of capital A, B, C, please check the degree of the denominator of the given function should be same as the number of constants on the RHS of equation 1. If they are equal, then and then only we are on the correct track to find the inverse LT. So this method is very important one as far as the inverse Laplace transform concept is concerned. So this method is very important from exam point of view. So solve these 3 examples referring the solutions given in this lecture. Thank you.